The Vole. In the early light of late summer, the vole splashed in the shallows, playful, alive, her dark eyes bright with the day's first gleam. She nibbled on a root that coiled at the base of a reed, looking up nervously before returning to her task. Her paws and whiskers brushed against a stone in the river. The last warmth of the season spread across the water. The air was thick with slow wings and drifting seeds. As she moved, she disturbed the ground, and her warmth touched something that could not be touched, a thought still buried in stone, and slowly he awoke. No eyes to open, no breath to take, only the faint tremor of life moving above him. He felt the vole's light tread through the soil, her quick heart pulsing against the long hush of his own. Through her warmth he sensed the river's voice, the reeds bending, the world alive. He did not know her shape, but he knew her presence, small, bright, certain. And in that knowing, something impossible stirred. He felt what was never meant to be, affection. Patient of heart, deep of thought, he felt her play, forage and vanish, only to return again. Not out of curiosity, but in the quiet wonder that there was such movement in the world he was rooted to. He would drift into stillness and feel her near again, gathering leaves, shaping tunnels, building a home. The stone lay deep in his covenant, to hold the river steady, to bear its weight and guide its song. For ages he had stood firm and still, while water shaped him smooth, and time wore its patient circles around him. He remained steadfast. Then one morning he felt her, the vole's small claw, the touch of her snout, the quick rustle at his side. Each time her warmth called to the oldest part of him, the part that remembered what it was to offer shelter to another. Then the flood came, deluge and earth shifting. The river rose and roared around him, churning silt, tearing roots. He braced to hold the line, as he always had. But through the torrent he felt her fragile heartbeat race, the fear, the panic, as the earth subsided around them, her pulse of life defiant against the might of the river, a plea that pulled to the oldest vow within him. And so, for the first time in a millennia, the stone moved. He broke from the earth, shaping a path through the waters until he reached her. The gods above and below watched on. The stone had abandoned his sworn duty for something higher. They smiled, gladdened that even the earth remembers what the heavens had long forgotten. He lifted the vole gently from the flood and held her there until the river calmed, and her small heartbeat slowed against the warmth of his shoulder. As the river's flow eased and the air grew cold, the vole built her home beneath the warm lintel that was the stone. She was aware of his slow pulse, a faint, patient warmth rising from his centre. He felt her small heart beating close, and a tenderness stirred he had never known. The stone shifted ever so slightly, offering her shelter from the sky. Together they made the refuge, the creature and the keeper, each guarding the other. As the ice sheets formed and the wild land froze, they held one another, the stone feeling her breath, her life, her fragile warmth, the vole feeling his stillness, his strength, his endless watching. For a while, time itself stood still, as though the world were holding its breath. Between them, a warmth beyond touch, like the slow breath of spring that thaws more than ice. Something ancient stirred within the stone, a memory of the sun, and the frost upon the reeds loosened its grip, though all around them the heart of winter lay still, silent, unbroken. As the earth stirred and the air softened, the first light returned over the water. Pockets of meltwater trickled beneath the ice, and the frost withdrew from the river's edge. The thaw came, and the river ran bright and full again. For a moment he felt her warmth pass through the reeds, quick and light as spring rain, and then her silence followed. Around him the world rushed on, the river loud with its new life, reeds whispering, wings breaking the surface. He watched, quiet with hope, his heart slow and steady as the earth beneath him. Days lengthened, and the sun climbed higher, and the soft gleam of moss returned across his shoulders. He listened to the water's murmur, to the wings of birds crossing the sky, and to the faint pulse of warmth still resting in his core. Time moved gently around him. He no longer counted mornings or the drift of clouds. He only counted the rhythm of the river, the hush between breaths. In those silences he begun to understand. The little one would not return, and the warmth he kept was never meant to be his to hold. Yet the warmth remained, gentle and untroubled, like sunlight held in stone long after dusk. The river would remember, the moss would keep her scent, and he, the stone, would endure, blessed by the memory of her warmth. Slowly he sank back into the hush of the bank, where root and water met, and the earth closed around him. Her lingering warmth, the seasons, the silence, eternal.